What is going on, guys, and welcome to the review for Monday Night Raw for the 15th of May edition. Haven't had a review out for you for a few goddamn weeks, but we are back with a review today, and we will be back with a SmackDown review followed by a preview to Backlash and a review to Backlash 2. This review not going to be massively long, simply because I've got a doctor's appointment very soon, so I don't have all the time in the world, but we're going to get right into this review once I actually can get up what happened on Monday Night Raw. So Raw recently, for the past couple of weeks, has been very, very poor, but I thought this week's was a hell of a lot better than previous weeks, and overall I did very much enjoy the show. It wasn't a stunning show, it wasn't an unbelievable show, there's no real groundbreaking, returns or groundbreaking news. I suppose there wasn't at the start of the show. But it was a very, very solid show, a decent show, some good in-ring action, some pretty shit in-ring action as well, some pretty shit parts of the show. But you've got to expect that in a 3-hour show. But overall, I enjoyed the May 15th edition of Monday Night Raw. We're going to be going through it in a chronological order, giving you my thoughts and opinions on everything that took place and transpired on Monday Night Raw. So let's get right into it. The opening segment, then we had Kurt Angle come out and announce that Braun Strowman is out for a significant time, could be out for as long as 6 months with a shoulder injury. That is terrible news. Braun Strowman's the only interesting thing on Monday Night Raw, and the Raw writing staff really have to get the finger out their arse now. They've relied on Braun Strowman to make the show watchable. They've now got to start doing their job, so it might actually be a good thing in a kind of weird way, even though I love Strowman and hopefully he's not out for as long as 6 months, because that's just terrible. But hopefully he can come back quicker. But what does it mean? It opens up a space for the number one contender. It looked like Roman Reigns and him were kind of battling for that, and it looked like it was going to go to Braun Strowman, and he was going to go on and face Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship in the next couple of months. But Strowman's got the injury, so it opened up an opportunity. One that Kurt Angle saw a real chance to make a blockbuster main event for Extreme Rules, and that is what he did. It's an Extreme Rules fatal 5-way match at Extreme Rules, of course, in June. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe will be facing each other in a fatal 5-way Extreme Rules match. The winner facing Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. That is about as big as it gets, folks. This is a huge, huge match. What we then saw were that, I can't honestly remember the order in which they came out in, but basically, I'm sure Reigns came out first and said, look, I'm the number one contender. We shouldn't have this fatal 5-way match. Finn Balor said, step behind me, Roman. I never lost a championship. I'm owed a championship opportunity. We then saw Joe and Wyatt and Rollins come out. And then it ensued into a brawl. Rollins and Joe going after each other. We then had Balor and Wyatt and Reigns was getting involved as well. In the end, it was Finn Balor standing tall at the start of the show, which really was the first sort of sign of maybe him kind of being favourite for this match, but certainly picking up some momentum heading in to that match in 3 weeks' time at Extreme Rules. A great way to start the show. Very, very high in energy. Blockbuster news, blockbuster announcement. Didn't overstay its welcome. Some will say it did its traditional kind of where you announce a match like that and then everybody comes out. Yes, it was predictable. Yes, you knew what was going to happen. But because of the stars and the star power in that, and because you're invested in the majority of the characters, this segment worked very, very well. And we have different stories. The Balor Wyatt story, the Rollins Joe story, the Finn Balor Roman Reigns story, all underlying stories in this match and in this feud. It's going to be a good few weeks heading into this match, and the match itself could be world class. Great way to start the show with a blockbuster announcement. Very much enjoyed it. But they got Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. Last week, Sheamus and Cesaro becoming number one contenders for that championship. They've got this new attitude now. Really, really liking it. And I thought it was a good match. I mean, there were parts of it that were a bit sort of clunky, probably the best way to describe it. And the ending was a kind of a bit of a botch because Sheamus kind of went to hit Matt off the rope and kind of completely and utterly missed him, so they had to do that bit again. But I mean, that will happen every now and again. It just will. So yeah, I suppose it wasn't the greatest match, but I enjoyed it personally. Maybe that's because Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy are still kind of relatively new in regards to, or relatively fresh since coming back. I don't know, but I certainly enjoyed it. And the winner, Jeff Hardy, with a twist of fate, slight distraction from Matt Hardy, stroke Cesaro. Bit of a mad finish, really, but an enjoyable match, one that I'd advise to go back and watch. And yes, certainly, I think this rivalry really starting to pick up as we head in to Extreme Rules, where these two are going to face each other again, these two teams. And since Cesaro and Sheamus have become heels, this has really picked up. We then got Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. I enjoyed this match again. Bleacher Report, much the same as they've shit on every segment so far on the show. And I've been quite positive about it. They've shit on this, they've given it a D. I disagree completely. I thought it was a decent match. Admittedly, didn't get as much time as perhaps I'd have liked, but still an enjoyable bout. Alicia Fox getting the win, which needed to happen for this feud to continue. After last week's quick win that Sasha Banks got, the only way this feud could continue going on more than this week would be if Alicia Fox got a win. It wasn't a decisive win, it was a tough win. Banks going to want revenge next week. Hopefully we're going to see Banks get revenge. I don't want Alicia Fox to win this, but remember, Alicia Fox, a former Divas champion, a veteran when it comes to women in the WWE right now. And a big win for her. Banks suffering a defeat, bump at the end that looked really quite bad. And yeah, maybe Sasha Banks will fight back and come back next week. We then got Intercontinental Championship match. Dean Ambrose versus Miz. I thought this is a very good match. Very much enjoying this feud. And it was fast-paced from the start. Really was quite a quick-paced match. And sometimes that's what I'm critical of Ambrose and his matches, is that they don't necessarily start particularly quick. And they're always quite a slow sort of thing, and the pace is always quite bad. That's what I've always noticed from Ambrose matches. But this one wasn't. This was really... yeah, definitely. It started very quick. Miz has improved so much in the ring. He really is an incredible character, which he's always been, but now incredible in the ring as well. I mean, he always has been incredible, but it's now showing a level of consistency that I don't think was seen from the Miz before. But yeah, no, a very good match, back and forth. Could have gone either way. At one point, I thought Miz had won with the skull-crushing finale, but Dean Ambrose did lose, although by disqualification. Maurice trying to cause a distraction. Miz going for the low blow. Ambrose caught it, and yeah, basically turned him around. Ref turned around, hit him with a low blow. Ambrose did disqualification. Sets up a match at Extreme Rules. Ambrose Miz for the IC title in a Extreme Rules matchup. That is going to be very good. Ambrose Miz, this feud is very good. Can they keep the hype? Can they keep it going without it feeling stale to Extreme Rules? I'm sure they can. And yeah, no, I enjoyed this. I mean, Bleacher Report shitting on it. I was certainly shitting on the ending. But no, I thought it was very good, to say the least. We then got Alexa Bliss come out and speak to the WWE Universe about how she is the goddess of Monday Night Raw. Bayley came out and, yeah, I mean, said that, look, I am invoking my rematch clause at Extreme Rules. They went back and forth. Again, what I thought the segment should, Bliss head and shoulders above Bayley in regards to on mic. Mic work, and yeah, she's fucking head and shoulders, like the fucking head and shoulders, what's it called, shampoo. I'm looking at it right now, but I'm actually doing this in the toilet. Why? I just think it sounds better. It gives you a bit of an echo. Anyway, that's completely random and not necessary. But yeah, I'm doing this video in the toilet, if you're wondering. Fucking hell. But yeah, no, I thought this really did show how much better Bliss is on the mic than Bayley, and it kind of makes Bayley look a little bit stupid, but she just needs to ultimately improve, and her character does need to improve as well. It's not getting stale. I've never been a massive lover of Bayley, but just because I've never really been a massive lover of those type of characters. I mean, maybe I was when I was a 9-year-old, but not anymore. I don't necessarily like that sort of character. I just find it a little bit hard to believe. I don't know, it's just me. But no, I don't dislike Bayley, don't get me wrong, but Bliss needs to retain the title at Extreme Rules in a kendo stick on a pole match. I don't know about this. The match stipulation might hold the match back. We'll have to wait and see. Why is it a kendo stick he asked? Well, because Bliss fucking destroyed Bayley with a kendo stick. It was one shot, and it's all it needs to be. I feel like sometimes with the kendo sticks, it's overused in a segment, right? I think to really use it effectively, hitting it once, slam, is perfect. And I think this segment shows why sometimes less is more. Hitting her just once made it a hell of a lot more brutal than if she'd have kept going. You know what I mean? Because it was fucking brutal. It was Bayley rolled out, and you really saw how fucking hurt she looked. Which means if we get more shots at the pay-per-view, they're going to be much more powerful in regards to us sitting back watching, because we just saw on Raw how much just that one shot really did affect Bayley. What is Bayley's nickname? She don't really have one, does she? Huggable Bayley. Oh god, that's one thing I can't stand, this whole hugging thing. Fucking that, I can't deal with that. We then got the cruiserweight Austin Aries versus Jack Gallagher versus Neville, and TJP has dropped his actual proper name, which was about a couple of weeks ago. Neville and TJP did win this match. I didn't actually watch it. I don't really know what's going on here. If I'm honest, I'm sorry, but I fast forward the cruiserweight thing and just kind of read what happened. Just because I'm not into it. I don't mind watching the cruiserweights matches at the pay-per-view, but unfortunately, other really than Austin Aries and Neville, I'm not really that interested in any of the characters, and they really have copped this division up. And it just saves me, really, folks, 15-20 minutes of Monday Night Raw, and it just makes it a hell of a lot easier to watch the show without getting sort of bored and getting to the end of it like, for fuck's sake, when it's going to end. Because, I'm a busy person. I'm a real busy person. I don't do anything, but I'm busy. It makes no sense. But yeah, no, I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me a little bit what happened in that match, because I have no fucking idea. We then got Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. I thought it was a good match. I'll probably go back and watch this match, because what I often find is that sometimes with matches, I don't really pay as much attention to them when I watch them the first time, so I've got to go watch them a second time before I really sort of get exactly what it was. But I did enjoy this match. It just wasn't like I was paying sort of like 8% attention rather than 100% attention, probably a little bit less than that. But you kind of know, I would have thought a lot of you have the same sort of thing, where you're not paying 100% attention, you're kind of, tweeting something, or just sort of checking your, your Snapchat or whatever, or the news or something on your phone, and you are paying attention. And don't get me wrong, I was watching this match for the majority of it, but my attention wasn't fully drawn, or I'm sitting there fucking pretending that I'm cutting a promo at WrestleMania or something. I do it all the time, and it's retarded. But anyway, really did enjoy this match. As I say, we'll go back and watch this match. Same as go back and watch the IC title match again. My attention was pretty much there for that match, but watching the match a second time always makes it 10 times better. You always really enjoy it the second time. At least that's what I feel happens. But yeah, at one point I thought Balor was going to win this match, but no, Reigns getting the victory. I'm okay with it. Balor stood on top at the start of Raw. Reigns stood on top at the end of their match, so that's okay. I don't mind that, to be honest with you. And it's very, very even. Could have gone either way. So Reigns didn't bury Balor. I'm not one of these people that just wants Reigns to lose each and every goddamn week. But I don't want him to win each and every week. Much the same as I don't want Finn Balor to win each and every single week. And I think Balor fans have got to accept that. It's kind of, I find it hypocritical with a lot of people. It's the same with, it used to be with Punk and Bryan and even to a certain extent AJ Styles. Look, I'm a massive AJ Styles fan, but I accept sometimes he's going to have to lose. Otherwise, he's going to turn into fucking Roman Reigns, and who wants another one of that? So I accept that some people have to lose. And if you don't accept that, and you want your favourite to win each and every match and get fucking butthurt when they don't, then you can't really complain about Roman Reigns. And I think most wrestling fans accept that they've sometimes there's some matches that, even though you like, say, AJ Styles like I do, he's got to lose that match. Or even if you really, really like Finn Balor, it's okay if he loses his match. Much the same as Roman Reigns fans, they never understand it. They are a fan base that never understand. There's a hell of a lot of AJ Styles fans and Finn Balor fans that do understand that he's got to lose, but there's not a lot of Roman Reigns fans that do. And that's not, I'm not throwing shots at anybody that watches my videos and comments on my videos. None of you on Snapchat like that. KWE, I know you're not like that. I know you all understand that superstars have to lose every now and again, even though you're a massive fan of them and realistically you don't really want them to lose, but you understand that kind of, they've got to lose. So it's not a shot at you, but it's more of a shot at people on Twitter that I see. That Balor seems to be going into the road, and I like Balor, but he seems to be going into the level of Daniel Bryan, and his fanboys are ridiculous. Like with Bryan, it was every fucking week. He's got to win, otherwise it's fucking pointless. He's got to be up for the championship, otherwise there's no point. And I don't like that, and it actually makes me hate the character because of the fucking fans. So yeah, I hope that doesn't happen with Finn Balor. And I hope people don't bitch too much. I can understand if you're disappointed that Roman Reigns won tonight. I'm not saying, oh my god, if you're pissed off that Roman Reigns won tonight, then you're obviously somebody expects Finn Balor to win. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just sort of talking about a wider topic. If you thought Finn Balor could have won tonight, I totally respect that. Look, if Roman Reigns would have stood on top at the start of Raw and Balor would have lost in this match, I'd have been fucking moaning about it. But I'm okay with it. Would I have loved Finn Balor to win? Yes. Would I have booked Finn Balor to win if I'd have booked the show? Probably. I'd have probably given Roman Reigns the start of Raw on top and Balor this bit, but that's just me. But yeah, I mean, Roman Reigns, he has been losing to Braun Strowman quite recently and looking pretty shit from that. So he kind of did need a big win. And he's got a big win. As I say, he didn't bury him. He looked very, very good. But a very good match nonetheless. And I agree with Bleacher Report. The chemistry is apparent. These two really have got good chemistry in the ring. There's a really good story there that they can visit, and a good storyline rivalry in the future that we could have between those two. Even going back to when Finn Balor on his first was the Fatal 4-Way thing, and he beat Roman Reigns in that, and he kind of just sort of walked past him, and I really do like that, and I think there's a really good story there. We've then got the Golden Truth versus Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Now backstage they were talking with R-Truth and Goldust, and R-Truth was kind of a bit disappointed. He was kind of saying, I'm sorry, I messed up our opportunity last week, blah 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 blah. And Goldust seemed like he was alright with it. Don't worry about it, R-Truth. It doesn't matter. And look, fair play to KWE. He called this on Twitter. I don't usually check Twitter while I'm watching Raw, because I don't watch it live because of the fucking breaks and because it's like a ridiculous time in the UK. But I watch pay-per-views obviously. But I did check Twitter, and I did see that he said about Goldust, and he basically called it, and then he said, I told you so. Now, I did see that before it happened, so I did kind of know this was going to happen, which wasn't a problem at all, because, if I'd have been watching it live, I'd have seen his tweet. And so I'm not moaning at him spoiling it, because it was actually more enjoyable watching it this way. And it's my own fault for checking Twitter, and as I say, it didn't spoil it, so I'm not moaning about that. But no, what a call from KWE. I mean, personally, if I'd have been watching, I don't know that I'd have called it. When I originally read the tweet that KWE sent, I thought R-Truth was going to be the one to turn on Goldust. So I was actually still surprised when it turned out that Goldust did turn on him. And this was brilliant. It really was great. I enjoyed this. I mean, Bleacher Report giving it an A, maybe a little bit too high, but I thought this was very, very good. Been together for a long time. It hasn't really worked, and this did work. And what this means for Gold Truth, for Goldust and R-Truth heading forward, I don't know. Both are old in regards to wrestling. Both coming to the end of their run. R-Truth, though, still a really valuable guy. I still feel like it's disappointing he never held a championship. When he was really on that roll with Miz, and he main evented a pay-per-view Capital Punishment, John Cena or R-Truth. But I did like R-Truth, and that mad kind of little Jimmy thing was very, very entertaining. So where this means, I don't know. What this means, sorry, for the others, I really, really don't know. But as I say, fair play to KWE for calling that one. Very, very enjoyable. Hopefully we get a Goldust R-Truth little mini feud that can go on in the background kind of thing, and I think it'll be relatively enjoyable if given sort of time to develop. So kind of looking forward to that. Goldust looked like a fucking sadistic motherfucker after this. We then got Big Cass versus Titus O'Neil. I'm not going to talk about this because it's irrelevant. The only thing I'm going to say is it looks like Apollo Crews has decided to go with Titus O'Neil. Interesting tag team there. Hopefully that will give Apollo Crews something to sort of work with the next couple of months. And I think Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews will be a decent tag team if they sort of book Titus O'Neil respectively. Apollo Crews now looks like he may have turned heel, which is everything they've been asking for. But it could be kind of one of those where he turns heel only to turn on Titus in a couple of weeks' time, so I'm not getting too excited yet. But this really, really was pointless. And Enzo and Big Cass are, as you all know, if you've ever watched any of my videos, not my favourite too. We then got a very, very good main event between Bray Wyatt and Seth frickin' Rollins. I enjoyed this. Bleacher Report didn't, but they didn't seem to enjoy anything last night. I disagree with Bleacher Report a hell of a lot at the moment. But no, I enjoyed this. They say there was a lack of heat. Not for me. I thought this was the first time ever. Perhaps it's because I love Seth Rollins and I love Bray Wyatt. Admittedly, the way that Bray Wyatt's been booked recently doesn't really give you a lot of sort of hope that he's ever going to come through, and that is a difficult thing. But I mean, that's the only thing. That's the only thing with Wyatt, is the fact that it's difficult to buy into him. It's difficult to get invested into him fully again, because you just know that we've done this before and it always ends in the same way. I enjoyed the match, and the ending was one that protected Wyatt and protected Rollins, which you could say wasn't necessary. Others would say it was. continue that Joe Rollins kind of side feud that's going to be going on into the Fatal 5-Way. We'll probably get a rematch next week. We've got a lot of options here. Tag team matches between the five. Singles matches, any of the five. So it's going to be enjoyable, and easy enough to get another couple of shows out of this feud without shadow of a doubt. Really, it's not really enough shows. Really, well, yeah, I mean it depends really how you look at it. So no, very enjoyable. Enjoyed the match. And Wyatt turning on Joe and ending the show with both of them being Sister Abigail and Wyatt standing on top was an interesting sight, to say the least. Is this going to mean that Bray Wyatt goes into the championship match at the number one contender and wins? Probably not. Is it difficult to get invested in his character? Yes, but he did win the House of Horrors matches. Granted, with a distraction, but he's on top again on Raw here. He's been on top a couple of times on Raw. I think it's 3 times now since the Superstar thing where he has been on top. So it's very, very interesting to say the least. And although it's difficult to buy into him at the moment, I do like Wyatt. And I'm still praying that one time WWE are going to book this guy well and give him what he deserves. Now, this is what I'm going to go for right now. I'm not going to predict who I think is going to win, but I'm going to tell you right now, if I was the bookies, right, and I'm opening betting right on this Fatal 5-Way and who I think is going to win. Outsider, underdog, Bray Wyatt. His odds are quite high, but not too high. We'll go about 4-1. So not that ridiculous, not that out there, but a little bit out there. We're then going to go Seth Rollins as 4th favourite. Am I right by that? I did write it down and now I've forgotten it. But yeah, I'm going to go Seth Rollins as 4th favourite, but he's going to be coming in at about 7-2. So not that bad. Could happen. But they're going to come in with Samoa Joe, and I'm going to give him 2-1 odds for him. We then got Roman Reigns. We're going to give him 5-4, and we're also going to give Finn Balor as the favourite. We're going to go evens. I think this is tough to call. I think it's really a toss-up between Reigns, Balor for favourite, but I think it's even. I think it'd be really difficult to really predict this one. I think everybody stands a chance. It would be a bit of a shock if Bray Wyatt wins, but the other throw I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. So yeah, for me, Bray Wyatt's the outsider. Favourite Finn Balor, just Reigns 2nd favourite. 3rd favourite Samoa Joe. 4th Seth friggin' Rollins. But it's going to be a great match because it could go anyway, and an argument could be made for all of these going on the face Brock Lesnar, and there is kind of a story for each and every single one of them if that happens. But that is it for this Monday Night Raw review. I'm going to give the show a 6.5 out of 10. A lot better than recent weeks. Not good enough really to get a 7, but not a bad show nonetheless. Few bits of filler. Cruiserweight still not sort of lacking. Will they ever improve? Probably not. But thank you very, very much for watching this show. If you have enjoyed, please like. Apologies about the shit commentary, but I haven't been doing this for a long, long time. And I will see you very, very soon for the SmackDown review and then the Backlash review. And then we'll be back next week, same sort of time, for a Raw review. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.